Okay, so this issue's top success tips for waking up at 5 a.m. are going to continue on from our last week's 2 tips. And just a quick refresher, last week the number 1 thing was to think as a 5 a.m.er, and the number 2 thing was to have an extraordinary reason to get up, to motivate you to get up every morning at 5 a.m. So this week I want to give you 2 more tips, and number 3 is to figure out what is right for you. What sort of habit are you going to establish? Are you going to be getting up every day? Are you going to be getting up at every weekday, Monday to Friday? Or is just a couple of days? Or are you working towards something specific? Do you have a mission, a short-term mission or medium-term goal that you're working towards that's going to need you to get up early for a short period of time, for a week or a month or so? So work out what's right for you. In my article above, I talk about some friends of mine who have become 5 a.m.ers, but they're not 5 day a week 5 a.m.ers, and they're not, they're not doing what I'm doing and making it my life mission, but they're using the tool to help them out in their individual situations. So one gets up 3 days a week to go to the gym. The other one gets up 3 days a week just to go for a walk. My mate Marcel gets up, depends on his workload. So some weeks he might get up every day, other weeks he might only get up a couple of days a week, because he has a balance between having a couple of young children and running his own business, as well as his wife works as well. So he's got a work-life balance to maintain, and he uses the 5 a.m., the flexibility of the 5 a.m. to make that all possible, so that he can balance it all. So just at the very beginning, define what are you going to do? What sort of a habit are you going to establish? And it's got to be right for you. Going out 7 days a week, for example, is a very tough habit to establish, given that you might have late nights and so on, and you're going to start failing. And when you start to get some fails in, you start to give up. So I want it to be realistic. I'd rather you say, well, I'll do it for 2 or 3 days a week, and you do it for 2 or 3 days a week. You wake up in those mornings and you've succeeded. You've started the day off as a success already. So then you can focus in on your magnificent obsession, knowing that you're an achiever, knowing that you've already succeeded. As opposed to saying, I'll get up 7 days. I'm going to go for this, get up 7 days. And then you go out on a Friday night and you don't get up on the Saturday morning or the Sunday, and you're going, oh, geez, this is incredibly hard to maintain. I don't think I can do it. All of a sudden, it's a different mindset. You're actually failing when you shouldn't have. You should have established what is right for you right at the beginning. So please make that's number 3. It's an incredible, important tip. And number 4 is pleasure and pain. Now, pleasure and pain is the way to get the neurons firing and to activate neuroplasticity in your brain. So the days you do get up at 5 a.m, I really would like you to congratulate yourself. You can do this inwardly, but know that you've got up. You are a success already. You're a high achiever straight off the bat. As soon as you get out of bed at 5 o'clock, you're already a success. Please talk to yourself. Congratulate yourself. Okay, we don't have cheerleaders following us around going, yeah, you got out of bed at 5 o'clock. You need to do it yourself. So really give yourself a dose of endorphins. Okay, give yourself some pleasure. That'll get the neurons firing. Wow, this is good fun. I like this 5 a.m. stuff. And it's going to establish the routine and the pattern. Now, later on, as you're working towards something during those first 1 or 2 hours in the morning, continue on with the pleasure. Okay? For example, when I was writing my book for a couple of years during those early morning hours, I would congratulate myself. Another page had been done. I'd go, well done. Like, this is great. I'm getting, towards my book completion. It might be now I've done 10 pages, and then later on now I've done 200 pages. So keep giving yourself doses of pleasure throughout this whole 5 a.m. Experience. The pleasure is reminding yourself and reinforcing yourself that this is all great. Okay, that I'm doing something beneficial to my life, that I'm changing maybe what I used to be like, and I'm moving towards where I want to go. So, pleasure. Now, sadly, there's a reverse side of everything, the yin and the yang, and I'm afraid we've got to give you a shot of pain. So, if you don't get up on a morning when you said that you would, you need to give yourself, an inward conversation, and it might not be as pleasant as the pleasure conversation. You might actually have to be quite firm with yourself and go, you knew that you were going to get up at 5 o'clock and you at the last minute kept hitting that snooze button. Why did you do that? Think of the opportunities you've missed out because you've slept in. Okay, think of the 1 or 2 hours that you could have been working towards your dream. So give yourself a dose of pain. You can have to be quite serious about this and give yourself a good talking to, because you can't have, if you've set yourself a time to get up the next day, you can't, once you go to bed, you've got to get up at that time, okay? You can't have that flexibility when the alarm goes off. That's not. If you don't want to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow, that's fine, but you decide that the night before, not when you're waking up. So if you hit the snooze or just turn the alarm off and sleep on through, when you wake up, pain. Why did you do that? What opportunities have you missed out? What damaging effect is this having to my 5 a.m. wake up habit? How do I expect to lose weight, to get fit, to write the book, to work towards my dreams, to get my promotion? How am I going to do that if I press the snooze and turn the alarm off? Okay, so that's the pain. All right, so pleasure and pain. Okay, so that's all 2 tips for this issue. Next issue, I'm going to continue on with another 2. And just a preview, the next tip is great because it is an extension of the pleasure and pain, where we start to talk about rewarding ourselves for all this hard work. And that's lots and lots of fun. So until then, thank you very much for listening and reading above to this article. And once again, if you can go over to the iTunes store and throw up a comment there and a rating, it would be really appreciated. Thanks very much.